I'm tired of being Jungkook. Sometimes I wonder if I weren't Jungkook, would I be happier? Jungkook's voice was hoarse in the silence of the podcast room. No background music, just the ticking of the clock and the faint sound of his breathing. The camera captured his shadowed face, eyes filled with exhaustion, a faint smile that felt forced. But this was the truth. Tonight, for the first time, he decided to be honest. No filters, no pre-written script from the management team. On the screen, thousands of comments from ARMY flooded the Weverse live. Jungkook, are you okay? Why do you look so sad? We're here for you. Jungkook took a deep breath, his hands gripping the edge of the table tightly. There was something he had been hiding all this time, a weight that had grown heavier each day. Being Jungkook of BTS was once a dream I thought would make me happy forever. But now, I'm starting to doubt that. Silence filled the room. ARMY was shocked. This wasn't the Jungkook they were used to seeing on stage. Charismatic, full of energy, always smiling. Tonight, he was just a 27-year-old man struggling with his own thoughts. The Weverse screen exploded. Comments kept pouring in at an incredible speed. Hyung, what's wrong? This isn't like you. We love you. Please don't feel alone. You can tell us anything. We're here to listen. Jungkook stared at the screen, his eyes glistening. All this time, he had believed he had to be strong, that he had to keep giving his best without complaints. But had anyone ever truly asked how he felt? He ran a hand over his face, then let out a small, tired smile. Do you want to know what it really feels like to be an idol this famous? All right, I'll tell you. And this was where it all began. Every time the stage lights turn off, I feel like I disappear too. Jungkook's voice was barely above a whisper. The dim studio lights cast long shadows across his face, highlighting the exhaustion in his eyes. His fingers drummed lightly on the wooden table, a nervous habit he didn't even realize he had. The Weverse live chat was chaotic. Armies were flooding the screen with messages of concern, support, and disbelief. Jungkook, you're scaring me. Are you okay? Please tell us what's wrong. We're here for you. I wish I could hug you right now. You're not alone. He let out a quiet chuckle, shaking his head. I don't want you guys to worry too much, but I think it's time to be honest. There was a brief silence before he continued, his voice lower this time. People always say I'm living the dream, that I have everything, fame, money, millions of people who love me. But what they don't see is what happens when the lights go out. A lump formed in his throat, but he forced himself to keep talking. After a concert, after all the screaming and cheering, I go back to my hotel room, and it's just silence. No matter how loud the stadium was, my room is always silent. He swallowed hard. The memories flooded in. Nights spent staring at the ceiling, his body too exhausted to move, but his mind refusing to rest. The countless times he had scrolled through Weverse at 3 a.m., hoping to find a comment that could make him feel something. Anything. Do you know what's the worst part? He asked suddenly, looking straight at the camera. Armies kept commenting, asking, guessing. It's the feeling that no matter how many people love me, I can't love myself the same way. The moment those words left his lips, it felt like a weight had been lifted. But at the same time, he knew this was only the beginning of a much deeper conversation. Do you ever feel like no matter what you do, it will never be enough? Jungkook's voice trembled slightly, but he didn't look away from the camera. His fingers curled into a loose fist on the table, his knuckles turning white. The chat was moving too fast to read, but he knew what armies were saying. He could feel their concern. Jungkook, please don't say that. You're more than enough. You've worked so hard. Why do you feel this way? I wish you could see yourself the way we see you. He exhaled sharply, forcing a smile that didn't quite reach his eyes. I know you guys love me, but sometimes love from the whole world still isn't enough to fill the emptiness inside. He paused, letting the weight of his words sink in. Then he continued, I've been fighting a battle that no one sees, a battle against my own mind. The nightmares most people thought his biggest struggle was exhaustion from performing. The sleepless nights, the physical pain from back-to-back schedules. But they didn't know the real reason he couldn't sleep. It wasn't just insomnia. It was fear. Fear of failing. Fear of disappointing people. Fear of becoming nothing once the fame faded away. There were nights he lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, feeling his heart race for no reason. Nights where he would wake up in a cold sweat, unable to breathe, haunted by dreams of standing on a stage where no one was watching. It was ironic, wasn't it? He was loved by millions, yet he feared being forgotten. Sometimes I dream that I'm standing on stage, but the lights are off. The audience is empty. No one's there. He let out a bitter laugh. I wake up from those dreams, and I feel like I'm suffocating. Like I don't know who I am without this career. The chat was overflowing with desperate messages. Fire, Jungkook. You will never be forgotten. Fire, your existence means so much to us. Fire, please don't be so hard on yourself. He read the words, and his chest tightened. He wished it were that easy. He wished he could believe it. But the truth was, the pressure of being perfect had built up for years. And now, he wasn't sure if he was strong enough to hold it all together anymore. No mistakes, no weaknesses, no room to fail. Jungkook clenched his jaw as he stared into the camera. His fingers gripped the edge of the table, his knuckles turning pale. He hesitated for a moment, his throat tightening. But there was no turning back now. Do you know what it feels like to be watched by the whole world and never be allowed to slip? The chat exploded. Fire, you don't have to be perfect. Jungkook. Fire, you're human too. It's okay to struggle. Fire, we love you no matter what. He let out a shaky breath, his shoulders rising and falling. I want to believe that. But do you know what happens when I make a mistake? He paused, eyes flickering with something unreadable. It's not just disappointment. It's hate. It's judgment. It's the world turning against you in a second. The unforgiving splht from the outside. Fame looked like a dream. Endless love, admiration, success. But Jungkook had learned something cruel about being a global superstar. People love perfection, but they didn't always love the person behind it. One wrong move, and suddenly, I'm not Jungkook the artist anymore. I become Jungkook the scandal. Jungkook the controversy. His mind flashed back to the countless times he had been scrutinized for things that felt so small, so insignificant. Rolled up newspaper, a picture taken at the wrong angle, a headline twisting the truth. Rolled up newspaper, an innocent night out, rumors of irresponsibility. Rolled up newspaper, a single missed note in a performance. A flood of criticism saying he was getting lazied. He had spent years trying to be perfect. To always smile. To never let the pressure show, but inside, it was suffocating him. Every time I step on stage, I think, don't mess up. Don't give them a reason to turn on you. The weight of those expectations sat heavy on his chest, pressing down harder and harder. When perfection becomes, Jungkook ran a hand through his hair, exhaling sharply. The thing is, I don't even know who I am outside of this anymore. He had spent so many years chasing perfection that he had forgotten how to just be. The silence stretched between him and the thousands of armies watching, the air thick with unspoken pain. Then a single comment appeared on the screen. Speech balloon, Jungkook, you don't have to be perfect to be loved. His breath caught in his throat. His eyes flickered, scanning the words over and over. Could that really be true? For the first time in a long time, hope flickered at the edges of his mind. Maybe, just maybe, he could learn how to be Jungkook, not just the perfect idol the world expected him to be. Purple Heart if you support Jungkook. Share this and remind him he's enough, just as he is. Purple Heart. If one day, BTS is no longer here, who will I be? Jungkook's voice was barely above a whisper, but it hit like a thunderclap. The room felt smaller, the air heavier. His fingers trembled slightly as he adjusted the microphone. He had never spoken about this. Not like this, not out loud. But the question had haunted him for years. The Wever's chat exploded. Fire, Jungkook, don't say that. BTS will always be here. Fire, you are more than just BTS. You are you. Fire, please don't think about the end. We're not ready. He smiled, but it was a sad smile. I know you guys don't want to think about it. Honestly, neither do I. But lately, I've been wondering, who am I if I'm not BTS? The fear of disappearing for over a decade, his entire existence had revolved around BTS. Every morning, every decision, every dream. It was all for BTS, all for the fans, all for the stage. But what happened when that stage was gone? I don't remember the last time I made a choice just for myself. The confession slipped out before he could stop it. He blinked, processing his own words. Every song I sing, every step I take, it's always been for something bigger than me. But what if one day that thing is no longer there? The silence stretched. His heart pounded. He wasn't sure if he even wanted to know the answer. The identity services Jungkook had always been the golden magne, the prodigy, the unstoppable force. But when he looked in the mirror, he didn't always see that person. Some nights, he wondered, if he had never joined BTS, what kind of life would he have? Would he be just an ordinary guy, walking down the street without a mask, without security? Would he have a normal job, a normal love life, a normal future? Would he be happier? The thought scared him. Sometimes, I think about what life would be like if I had never become an idol. And I don't know if I'd be happier or lonelier. The chat flooded with desperate messages. Fire, Jungkook, you've changed so many lives. We need you. Fire, we love you for who you are, not just because you're BTS. Fire, no matter what happens, we'll always be here. He swallowed hard. The warmth of their words wrapped around him like a fragile shield, but the question still lingered in the air. Could he exist outside of BTS? Would the world still love him if he wasn't Jungkook of BTS, but just Jungkook? A glimpse of hope as he stared at the messages. One stood out. Speech balloon. You don't have to know all the answers right now. Just be yourself. Something in his chest loosened. Maybe he didn't have to figure it all out tonight. Maybe he just had to take it one step at a time. Maybe, just maybe, he could learn to exist beyond the name Jungkook of BTS. Was it worth it? Jungkook's fingers traced the rim of his coffee cup, his gaze lost in thought. The soft hum of the microphone filled the silence, his breathing steady but heavy. I gave up a normal life for this. And sometimes, I wonder if I made the right choice. The Wever's chat was a flood of emotions. Fire, Jungkook, please don't regret it. You've changed so many lives. Fire, we love you, but we also want you to be happy. Fire, fame is hard, but you're never alone. He let out a small, breathy laugh, shaking his head. I know, and I'm grateful. But there are days when I wonder, what did I lose along the way? The sacrifices in Jungkook had everything the world said a person should want. Success, money, admiration. But there were things he could never have. Do you know what it's like to be watched every second of your life? To have no place where you can truly just exist. His voice wavered slightly. I can't go on a date without the world knowing. I can't have a bad day without it becoming a headline. I can't even sit in a cafe without worrying if someone will take my picture and twist it into something it's not. He sighed, rubbing his temples. I've lost friends because of this life. People who couldn't handle the attention that came with knowing me. People who saw me as a trophy, not as a person. The chat slowed down, as if armies didn't know how to respond. Then, one message stood out. Speech balloon, have you ever been in love? Jungkook. His breath hitched. Love in the explanation. Jungkook hesitated, his fingers tightening around his cup. He stopped, exhaling sharply. I don't know if I should talk about this. The chat exploded. Fire, please, we won't judge. We just want to know the real you. Fire, you deserve love too. Jungkook, Fire, will support you no matter what. He looked down, lips pressed into a thin line. Then he spoke, softly, cautiously. Yes, I've loved before, and I've lost. His voice carried a weight that made the silence even heavier. You have to understand, loving someone as a person and loving someone as an idol are two different things. His mind flashed back to late-night phone calls that ended in quiet goodbyes, to whispered apologies and hands slipping out of his grasp, the painful realization that no matter how much he wanted to be just Jungkook, the world would never let him. I've had to let go of love because I knew it would destroy them, because I knew the world wouldn't be kind. A deep, aching sigh escaped him. That's the price of fame. The higher you rise, the lonelier it gets. Is it worth it? He leaned back, staring at the ceiling. So, was it worth it? He murmured, repeating the question that had been haunting him. The chat was flooded with thousands of answers, some begging him not to regret, some crying, some reminding him of the lives he had changed. Then, one message caught his eye. Speech balloon, if you could go back, would you choose this life again? Jungkook inhaled sharply that he didn't know, but maybe he was finally ready to find out. If I could turn back time, would I still choose this life? Jungkook stared into the camera, his expression unreadable. His fingers toyed with the sleeve of his hoodie, a nervous habit he hadn't been able to break. The weight of the question sat heavy in his chest, pressing down on him like a stone. The chat was on fire. Fire, Jungkook, don't say that. We can't imagine a world without you. Fire, please don't regret your dreams. Fire, but are you happy? His breath caught at that last comment. Was he happy? He wanted to say yes. He wanted to believe that everything, the sleepless nights, the sacrifices, the loneliness, had been worth it. But some nights, the doubt crept in. The fork in the road, I think about it sometimes, he admitted. What if I had never auditioned? What if I had chosen a different path? His mind wandered back to his teenage years, when he was just a boy from Busan with a dream. Back then, he had choices. He could have been a dancer, a student, a regular guy with a normal life. But he had chosen BTS. Or maybe BTS had chosen him. Sometimes I imagine what my life would be like if I had stayed in Busan. Maybe I'd be working at a small cafe. Maybe I'd be in college, hanging out with friends. Maybe I'd be in love. His voice softened on that last word. Would I be happier? The chat was flooded with heartbreak. Fire, Jungkook. We don't want you to regret anything. Fire, you've changed so many lives. We love you. Fire, but do you love your own life? That last comment hit harder than he expected. The cost of a dream. I don't regret BTS. I don't regret ARMY. But he hesitated, choosing his words carefully. There are moments I wonder what it would feel like to just live, to walk down the street without bodyguards, to sit in a park without worrying about cameras, to meet someone and have them love me for just me. His voice grew quieter. I don't know if I'll ever get to experience that. It was a truth he rarely let himself admit. Being an idol wasn't just a career. It was a life sentence. In normal relationships. No true privacy. No second chances. I used to think that if I worked hard enough, I could have it all. The fame, the love, the normal life. But now I realize you can't have everything. His jaw tightened. So I chose this, and I'll keep choosing it. But I can't pretend I don't wonder what it would have been like if I had chosen differently. The chat slowed down, as if armies were holding their breath. Then, one message appeared. Speech balloon, no matter what life you chose, I just hope you're happy. Jungkook blinked. For a long time, he had been searching for an answer to the what-ifs. But maybe the answer wasn't about choosing one life over another. Maybe it was about finding happiness in the life he had. He let out a deep breath. I don't have all the answers, but I think I'm starting to figure it out. And for the first time in a long time, he felt a little lighter. I think I want to start living for myself, too. Jungkook's voice was steady, but something in his eyes had changed. The weight he had been carrying for years was still there, but tonight, it felt a little lighter. The Wever's chat was a mix of relief and concern. Fire, Jungkook, yes. Please take care of yourself, too. Fire, we just want you to be happy. Fire, what does living for yourself mean to you? That last question made him pause, learning to breathe. Again, Jungkook leaned back in his chair, exhaling slowly. I don't know yet, he admitted. For so long, my life has been about schedules, performances, expectations. Every day, every hour planned out. I don't even remember the last time I woke up without thinking about work. He ran a hand through his hair, thinking, maybe it's something small, like waking up without an alarm, or taking a walk without worrying about cameras. Maybe it's finding out who I am outside of all this. For years, he had been Jungkook of BTS, a role he was proud of, a name he cherished. But lately, he realized he didn't know much about Jungkook the person. I want to discover what makes me happy beyond the stage, beyond the applause. The chat flooded with support. Fire, yes, please. Find what makes you happy. Fire, you deserve a life outside of work too. Fire, We will always be here for you, no matter what. A small smile tugged at his lips. That means a lot. Really. The fear of letting Jungkook hesitated before continuing. But I'd be lying if I said it wasn't scary. The idea of slowing down, even for a moment, felt unfamiliar. For so long, my biggest fear has been stopping. Because stopping meant facing himself. When I'm busy, I don't have time to think about my fears, my regrets, my doubts. He swallowed hard. If I slow down, will I still feel like I have a purpose? The chat was silent for a moment, as if armies were searching for the right words. Then, one comment appeared. Speech balloon. Your purpose isn't just to perform. Your purpose is to be happy. Jungkook stared at the screen, his chest tightening. Happiness. Could it really be that simple? The first step, ffbts, and nodded slowly. Maybe you're right. Maybe his life didn't have to be all or nothing. Maybe he could love music, love performing, but also love himself. Maybe healing wasn't about choosing between being an idol and being a person. Maybe it was about learning to be both. For the first time in a long time, he felt something close to peace. I don't know what the future holds, but for now, I think I just want to learn how to live. And that, he realized, was enough. For once, I'm going to do something just for myself. Jungkook's voice was firm, yet there was an undeniable tremor beneath it. He had made up his mind. No more overthinking. No more fear. The Wever's chat went wild. Fire, Jungkook. What are you planning? Fire, we support you no matter what. Fire, is this a goodbye? He chuckled softly, shaking his head. No, it's not a goodbye. It's just a new beginning. The fear of disappointing others for years, Jungkook had lived by one rule. Don't let anyone down. He had shaped himself into the perfect idol. The hardest worker, the most disciplined performer, the one who always smiled, no matter how exhausted he was. But in doing so, he had slowly lost pieces of himself. There were times when I didn't even know if I was making my own choices or just following what was expected of me. He took a deep breath. But I'm done being afraid. I'm done living only for the spotlight. The chat flooded with encouragement. Fire. Yes, Jungkook. Live for yourself. Fire, we love you no matter what. Fire, what's your first step? He hesitated. Then, with a small smile, he said, I've booked a plane ticket. A trip into the UNKNOW, and the reaction was immediate. Fire. What? Where? Fire, are you leaving Korea? Fire, tell US everything. Jungkook laughed, shaking his head. I won't say where yet, but I need this. I need to go somewhere where I'm just a guy, not Jungkook of BTS. Just me. For so long, he had been trapped inside his own success. Every move monitored, every step calculated. But now, for the first time, he was choosing freedom. No cameras, no schedules, just me, my thoughts, and the world. The chat was a mix of excitement and worry. Fire, will you be safe? Fire, promise you'll come back? Fire, please tell us if you're okay. He smiled softly. I promise. This isn't about running away. It's about finding myself. The courage to choose hsf Jungkook had spent years wondering if he was allowed to be more than an idol. Tonight, he had his answer. Yes, that he could be more, and he would be. I love you, Army. Always. But now, I think it's time I learn to love myself, too. As the live ended, he closed his laptop and leaned back, his heart pounding. For the first time in his life, the future was completely uncertain. And for the first time in his life, that didn't scare him. For the first time in my life, I am truly free. Jungkook stood at the edge of the ocean, his bare feet sinking into the warm sand. The waves rolled in and out, a rhythmic pulse that matched the steady beating of his heart. The air smelled of salt and adventure, untouched by cameras, schedules, or expectations and no managers. No security, no flashing lights, just him. For the first time in years, Jungkook was alone with his thoughts, and it didn't scare him anymore to finding himself away from the FNHT. It had been a week since he left Korea. A week of waking up whenever he wanted. A week of walking through nameless streets, blending into crowds where no one recognized him. A week of just being human. He had eaten street food at a tiny market without worrying about photos. He had danced barefoot under the stars without thinking about choreography. He had laughed with strangers who didn't care about his fame, only about the moment they shared. And for the first time, He realized something. Maybe he had been free all along. He had just been too afraid to claim it. Can you love yourself beyond the fame? Sitting on a quiet hilltop, overlooking the vast, endless ocean, Jungkook pulled out his phone. He hesitated for a moment before opening Weber's. The last time he had been here, he had been uncertain, trapped between the life he had and the life he wanted. But now, he had his answer. He started a live broadcast. The chat exploded instantly. Fire, Jungkook? You're okay. Fire, where are you? Fire, we missed you so much. Jungkook chuckled softly. Hey, Army. I'm okay. I just wanted to check in. His voice was calm, lighter than it had been in years. I've spent the past week just living, and I realized something important. He took a deep breath. I used to think I had to choose between being an idol and being happy, between my career and my personal life. A pause. But maybe I don't have to choose. The chat slowed down, as if armies were holding their breath. Maybe I can love music, love performing, love all of you, and still love myself too. The words felt like a release, like he was finally letting go of years of guilt, of pressure, of believing he had to sacrifice one thing to have another. He smiled, watching the chat fill with love. Fire. Yes, Jungkook. You deserve both. Fire. You can have everything. Fire. Just be happy. That's all we want. His heart swelled. I don't know what the future holds, but I know one thing. He looked at the endless horizon, the sun setting in golden waves. I'm not afraid of it anymore. And maybe that was the greatest freedom of all. The Yendi. Or maybe just the beginning.